It's time for bookkeeping, beer, and BS. Sales Boost Live coming up March 30th to April 1st. And just like the quick cliff notes of what Pat and I had talked about earlier in the week is, it's just absolutely like any other sales conference you've been to. It's for anybody in the home service space, whether you're washing the outside of stuff, cleaning the inside of stuff, mowing the thing, building the thing. It's all sorts of sales tactics, both some residential and some commercial. And it's not just sitting and listening to speakers. And I think that's one of the coolest things is it's more interactive. You talked about having some breakout time. We're actually going out in the field together to do bids together and learn hands-on. And you've got one hell of a packet of information that people get to take with them, I think, right? That like that whole binder of information that you were showing us on Monday is a take home.
Yeah.
It's like a gift in and of itself. So it's a whole nother level of a sales conference for the home service industry.
Yeah. Whether you're in carpet cleaning, we've had all sorts, right? We had a tree care company come out. And the cool thing is like it's home service, like you said. And so when you're going in the home and doing sales, it's the marketing portion of it. It's the in-home sales. It's the process. And it's also getting you out of your own way, right? Because sometimes we're the bottleneck in the sales position and you are held hostage in the sales position. And so I was there and I kind of like designed this, if you will, for my past self, because I had to do the quotes. And if I didn't sell, my business didn't do any work. And nothing happens in your business unless a sale happens, period. And so that's what I want to do. I want to make it different. And we opened it up 6 years ago to the public. And it's been awesome. Like the takeaways from this, seeing people go from, a $500 average ticket to over $1,000, right? In like less than 3 months. Having people going to the conference and walking away 2 weeks later with an $80,000 project because they have the confidence now in their pricing. So like in that book you talked about, we go over the pricing. We go over my 19 points to a sale of like where you park the car and the different things, right? Like the science of the sale. But it's stuff I've learned like you have, Dan, and like Rob has, like we've learned from customers over the years we've done business and said, okay, what worked? What didn't work? How can we improve, right? And we asked ourselves the question when we left that job was like, did I add value? Did I do the best presentation I could have? And then from that, you build. And 17 years later, right, we're still tweaking it, don't get me wrong, but we have a really good system down that works. And we go out in the field. And I think that's different than a lot of events, right, is where...
I don't know any other event where you actually like go out and do hands-on stuff. Every other event is just either a big trade show or teaching, and it's like too much. And then you leave and you're like, I don't know which of these 1,000 things that I just learned I'm going to try to implement first. I love the hyper focus of it.
Yes. Yeah, the table tune-ups is where it's at, man, because that's where you role play. Like, okay, great. What do you say with the customer? What do you say when you get this objection, right? And then people are like, and I'm like, you didn't train hard enough. Let's go.
Run her back through.
That's right. Yep. Take two.
I like how you said you built it really for your past self, because I feel like there's this thing that happens, and I present a lot. I'm not presenting on this at Sales Boost, but I presented a lot on the purgatories. Everybody likes to talk about the levels, like level 1, 2, 3, 4 that you hit in business, but nobody talks about the time in between them, because that's the time that sucks and that we're all scared of. And I call it the purgatories. Like when you're stuck between level 1 and level 2 is that time where you're like trying to get off the truck, but like how? Yeah, it's cool to get to level 2, but there's this period of time where you start losing money in your business when you're not out producing anymore, and it sucks. And then there's the time where you can't sell everything, and it's kind of between like level 2 and level 3. I call it purgatory level 2, where like you're the bottleneck. And like you said earlier, if you ain't the one selling it, ain't nobody going to eat, because everything's hinged on you being the one to like bring the leads in, close the leads. And we get out of purgatory level 1 when we like get off the truck and we just get this vision of like, I made it. I'm off the truck. and now it's just smooth sailing, and this thing's going to grow to millions of dollars and fill my pockets up. And then we get really tripped up when we hit purgatory level 2, and we're like, oh shit, like this is a whole new round of problems. I'm stuck in the mud again. And I thought I had already solved all the problems that needed to be solved. And now I find myself like even more frustrated than I was trying to get off the truck, because I knew that was going to happen. I didn't know I was going to hit this point and find out that like being a sales bottleneck is almost worse. Like now I got to train somebody at a higher level. And actually, like, I'm in the next one in our bookkeeping business where it's like, now I need to like lead leaders. And that's a whole nother challenge. Like, how the hell do I train a manager to train a manager to train a manager? I don't know. Like, I know I got to figure it out. But every time you hit this like new level of stickiness, you're like, oh shit, I thought I had solved all the problems. Turns out like I was saving the hard ones for last.
Well, I think it's always been amusing as you go through those levels, though. Everybody who's around that level is like, man, that's the hardest level you have to get through. And it's so much easier once you hit the next level. I was like, man, it's so much easier once you crack that million. And then they're like, well, you got to get to like, 1.75 to 2.5. And then you've got your middle managers. And like you just said, Dan, then at that point, the problems don't go away. It changes who, not how. Who, not how. Which who's you need to do the who, then how, and
which who's need to do the house. Hey, what's up, business nerd? Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you learned a heck of a lot watching that episode. Do me a favor, subscribe right down here, and if you really like what you saw, you got more goods right here. Check out this one, or check out this one, and do this. Go subscribe. Appreciate you. Work smarter, work harder. Go earn yourself some pride. Catch you on the next one.